What's going on, guys? Pete with Auto Repair Tips. In this video, we're going to be working on a 2012 Jeep Wrangler front brake system. When the customer brought us the truck, the right front caliper was locked up so the wheel wouldn't spin. If you guys enjoy these types of videos, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel so you can see more episodes like this one. Alright, so let's jump into the repairs. The first thing you need to do is jack that truck up in the air so you can remove the tires. Make sure you use caution anytime you're jacking your vehicle up. Always use jack stands to help support that truck. It'll keep it from falling on you. And I'm pretty sure you don't want that. Alright, after you remove the tires, you're going to remove the brake caliper, and for that you'll need a 13mm socket. The caliper is held on with 2 bolts. Most of the time the bolts come right out with no problem. But in some cases you will need to hold that caliper slide from moving, and for that a pair of pliers works just fine. Once the bolts are out, get a pry bar and use it to remove the caliper. Sometimes you need to add some force to get it off, and that's normal. Then go ahead and remove the brake. If you look, you can see where the brakes have worn down to the backing plate. This person spent a lot of time on the beach, so the pads were rusted onto the caliper bracket. Now go ahead and take the caliper bracket off. For that you'll need a 21mm socket. If you're not going to be replacing the bracket, make sure you check the slides. These slides are the pins that go into the bracket, so when you apply brake pressure to the pedal, the pads will apply equal pressure to both sides of the rotor. I tested the caliper by applying pressure to the caliper piston. It should move in with ease. This one didn't, so it needs to be replaced. So I bought a kit. That kit came with all new parts. It had pads, the caliper bracket, slides, and a rotor. Here's the part number to the caliper kit that we're using. I'll also put a link in the description where you can get this kit at a good price. I found it best that if you're going to be replacing the caliper, you should go ahead and replace both sides. Okay, it's time to release some anger. Go ahead and grab a hammer and beat that rotor off. This one was rusted on, so I had more fun than normal. Let's go ahead and install the new rotor. Make sure you clean it off with brake clean, because when you take it out of the box, it will have a coating on it to keep it from rusting. And you want to be sure to clean it off really good. After you get it in place, put one lug nut on. This will make it easier when you install the caliper bracket. Go ahead and reinstall the 2 21mm bolts that held the bracket on. Then put your brake pad kit on. Make sure to use anti-seize where the pad slides so they will slide smooth and with less friction. This will also help keep it from rusting and also keep them quiet so you don't hear any squeaking when you apply your brakes. Now that the pads are on, install the caliper and transfer the brake line from one caliper to the new one. Make sure you use new brass washers that come with the kit. Once you have done that, it's time to bleed the system. I'm using a tool that uses air to bleed the system. If you have an air compressor, it's a great tool to have. I'll put a link down in the description where you can get one. If you don't have an air compressor, no worries, grab a friend to help you. Then make sure your master cylinder is full of brake fluid. Get a friend to pump up the brake pedal until it gets hard. Once this happens, tell him to hold pressure on the brake pedal and open the bleeder valve. The pedal should go to the floor and you should hear air coming out of the bleeder valve. Make sure they hold the pedal down until you tighten up the bleeder valve so you don't suck air back into the system. And repeat this until you don't hear any air and you see a good stream of brake fluid coming out of your bleeder valve. A good way to check this is to start your vehicle, apply brake pressure to the pedal, and make sure it's as high as the gas pedal. If it is, you're good to go. If you guys have any questions, just leave it in the comments below or shoot me an email at autorepairtips@gmail.com and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks again for watching.